listeners, ready to dive in.
Let's do it.
Today, we're looking at a recent review of La scrittrice nel buio.
La scrittrice nel buio.
Yeah, by Marco Malvestio. It's
Oh, right.
it's an Italian novel. And the review really caught our eye because
Okay.
it compares the book to the works of Pier Vittorio Tondelli.
Interesting. I'm familiar with Tondelli's work. What's the connection?
Yeah, so Tondelli, for anyone who doesn't know,
Right.
was an Italian writer
Yeah.
who was really known for his kind of raw
Yeah.
and honest portrayals of relationships,
Oh, okay.
especially between men.
Yeah, I remember that. The kind of the
Yeah.
closeness and the distance.
Exactly. And so this review
Yeah.
is making that same connection with Malvestio's book.
Okay, interesting. So they're saying that Malvestio is also exploring these complex male relationships.
Yeah, especially the protagonist of this book and his friend Federico.
Okay, and how does that play out in the novel? What's the dynamic like?
Well, the Rafao actually talks about that
Yes.
dynamic
Yeah.
specifically,
Right.
and how it really reminded the reviewer of Tondelli, this kind of push and pull between closeness and distance.
Ah, interesting. So like there's this unspoken tension.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is something I think we can all relate to
I
in our
definitely
own
can.
friendships.
For sure. And I think it's really fascinating that the reviewer is picking up on that. Because you're right, it's not something that's always explored so explicitly in literature.
Yeah, and it seems like the reviewer sees that as a real strength of the book.
Yeah.
Like this ability to capture these really complicated
Right.
but very, very human relationships.
Yeah, it makes you think about those relationships in your own life, like
Yeah.
where things are left unsaid,
Right.
but there's still this deep connection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the review also goes on to talk about this really interesting female character
Okay.
named Maria Zanca.
Maria Zonka.
Yeah. And the title of the book translates to The Writer in the Dark.
The Writer in the Dark. Interesting. Okay.
So Maria's this mysterious figure,
Mhm.
and the review kind of questions whether she's underdeveloped.
Underdeveloped, yeah.
So they say that she's introduced
Sure.
through these letters
Right?
between these two intellectuals, Ferretti and Carraro.
Okay, so she's kind of a subject of their correspondence.
Exactly. But then she disappears.
Like literally disappeared.
Just gone. Just
Yeah.
gone. And it leaves all these unanswered questions.
Wow, so it sounds like Malvestio is really playing with this idea of mystery
Yeah.
and intrigue.
But the reviewer seems to think that it might be at the expense of Maria's character.
Oh, so they're not entirely convinced that it works.
Yeah. They actually compare her to this kind of classic archetype,
Oh, really? Which one?
the mysterious and fatal woman.
Oh, yeah.
This trope that's been used so many times in literature.
Right, where the woman is kind of this alluring but ultimately unknowable figure.
Exactly. And they argue that by kind of falling back on this archetype,
Yeah.
Malvestio might have missed an opportunity
Okay.
to create a more well-rounded character.
To really give her more depth.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm kind of torn because I also kind of enjoy a little bit of mystery.
Right. It's like, I mean, don't we all love a good puzzle?
Yeah.
You know, like leaving something for the
Yeah.
reader to figure out.
No, absolutely. I think that's a really interesting point. And it kind of highlights this tension that exists in storytelling.
Yeah.
Between wanting to provide enough information to make a character feel real
Yeah.
and believable, but also leaving some space for the reader's imagination
Yeah.
to kind of fill in the gaps.
So I guess it comes down to this question of, does the lack of clarity around Maria actually weaken the book?
Right.
Or does it add to this overall atmosphere of uncertainty and darkness?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it?
Mhm.
And I think it's one that each reader has to answer for themselves.
What do you prefer as a reader? Do you like your characters fully formed and explained? Or do you enjoy having to piece things together yourself?
Yeah, maybe it depends on the writer, too. Like how well they're able to pull it off.
Right. Right. Some writers are better at handling ambiguity than others.
For sure.
But ultimately, I think it's great that this review raises these kinds of questions.
Yeah,
Because it makes us think more critically about the books we read
exactly.
and about the choices that authors make.
It's a reminder that literature isn't just about passive consumption.
Right.
It's about engaging with ideas and
Absolutely.
having these conversations.
Yeah, and for me, this review definitely makes me want to read the book myself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just to see how Malvestio handles this female archetype, Is it a responsible portrayal? Does he give Maria any agency?
Right.
Or is she just a tool to further the plot? I guess we'll have to read it and find out.
All right, listeners. Well, that's our deep dive for today.
Yeah.
Be sure to check out La scrittrice nel buio.
Yeah. Let us know what you think.
And let us know what you think about using these powerful archetypes in storytelling.
Yeah.
Do they enhance the reading experience,
Right.
or do they ultimately limit the potential of the characters?
Good food for thought.
Thanks for listening.
Until next time.